If it can be done again, even if he is inconspicuous, the United States will not let him go. If it can be done again, China may not let him live so hard, let alone owe him so much. His greatness is also his sorrow. He solved the world's problems, helped China counterattack, and made the Americans take defeat. This big man who changed the era made many great achievements in his life, but he was unknown all his life, as if he had never been in this world, and his name was Bi Dexian. So, what did he do and what achievements did he achieve? Why did the Americans regret letting him go back to China? And why is China sorry for him? Okay, that and more is exactly what we are going to talk about. Let's get started. He was young and intelligent, and was admitted to Yenching University at the age of 22. In this aristocratic school established by the American Church, there are many rich and powerful students, and it only took him 2 years to make those who look down on him admire him. With excellent grades and fluent English, he was not only hired as a lecturer in the physics department of Yanda University, but also joined the Chinese Physical Society and became the youngest member. Later he entered the United States to study at Stanford University, and his teacher was the father of Silicon Valley, Frederick Terman. It took Bi Dexian only 1 year to get a master's degree, and 2 years to get a doctorate from Caltech. After graduation, he joined the Rocket Theory Research Group, and his colleague is the famous Sino-US. Then, he was transferred to the RCA Trial Department. Like him back then, those who studied radio were all top talents in the industry. However, there are too many great people, and Bi Dexian doesn't seem to stand out among them. Americans also find him less conspicuous, but they will soon pay the price for such contempt. In 1946, Bi Dexian gave his motherland a super gift. At that time, his friend Zhao Zhongyao, the founder of nuclear physics in China, found him quietly. Zhao said that China now needs an electrostatic accelerator, which is necessary for the nuclear industry. However, an accelerator is sold in the United States for $400,000, but he only brought $50,000. He plans to buy some related parts, and then learn to manufacture and assemble by himself, but the strength of one person is not enough. Bi Dexian said without hesitation, "If the country needs it, I will be with you." Zhao Zhongyao later said in an interview that Bi Dexian gave up too much to help me and the country. The high-paying jobs of him in the United States are also gone, and any future has been given up, and the two of them have devoted themselves to the study and development of accelerators. 1 year later, in the history of nuclear physics in China, the first independently designed and manufactured accelerator was born in the United States. Because of this accelerator, China has the first batch of nuclear equipment, and the first atomic bomb can explode successfully. Chen Shuesen said, "Professor Zhao brought back equipment that could not be produced in China, which was barren at that time." It is precisely because of this that China can quickly develop nuclear weapons. A few months later, Bi Dexian returned to China to teach at Nanjing Central University. For many years, he never mentioned such a major achievement. It was not until Zhao Zhongyau's memoirs were released that people knew that Bi Dexian, who was unknown, was actually a great hero behind the great cause of nuclear weapons. Such an important talent was easily released back then. The Americans regretted it very much. The Kuomintang did not want to regret it, and conspired to kidnap him to Taiwan. At that time, the Chinese Communist Party sent him to the Northeast Liberated Area in advance. There, he made another preparation, the Department of Electrical Engineering and the Department of Telecommunications of Dalian University of Technology, dedicating all his talents to China. In 1950, to resist US aggression and aid Korea, the Chinese army invented tunnel warfare, and the effect was very good. The US military consumed dozens of shells, but they couldn't hit Chinese soldiers. But this tactic has a huge disadvantage. The fortifications were all built 30 meters underground. At that time, the international research on underground radio waves was not complete, and the Chinese army could not communicate in the tunnels. At first, a correspondent ran out of the tunnel with a message, and the enemy's guns fired heavily, and he fell. Another correspondent, who witnessed all this, rushed out without hesitation, and he also fell. the third, the fourth, until someone managed to deliver the message. We can't go on like this, no matter how difficult wireless communication is, we have to solve it. The superior leaders thought of one person, the most outstanding electronics expert in China at that time, Bi Dexian. After his calculations and theories, the Chinese army successfully realized underground antenna communication. After the battle, the headquarters of the volunteer army specifically mentioned Bi Dexian, saying that his innovation of buried antennas played a great role in the battle, and he is a well-deserved hero behind the scenes. It was not until 1963 that the United States made progress in the theory of radio antennas. Bi Dexian was 10 years earlier than them. There was a popular saying in the United States, "It was the atomic bomb that ended World War II for us, but it was radar that helped us win the war." It goes without saying that whoever masters the radar will have clairvoyance in their weapons. Bi Dexian once visited the radar manufacturing base, and the Americans had something to say first: no photographs, no records. But they underestimated Bi Dexian. He memoized every tiny fragment and pieced it together bit by bit when he went back. These became the sparks for the birth and development of Chinese radar. 50 years ago, China did not have a single textbook on radar. Bi Dexian translated and published the first monograph on antennas, and completed the compilation of 14 professional courses on radar. The book Electromagnetic Field Theory is still a classic textbook. He created the first radar engineering major for China, and he trained the first batch of high-quality national defense students for China. Professor Bao Sheng, known as the chief referee of China's radar, was the first batch of graduates brought out by Bi Dexian, many of whom are now illustrious famous Chinese military backbones are also his students. He is the father of Chinese radar. In 1956, history was frozen in one scene. 7 or 8 young people were arguing about a very important issue: how to determine the Chinese name for a new discipline. The elder made the final decision: information theory. This is recognized by the scientific community, the first information theory research group in the country, and the elder is Bi Dexian, the earliest information theory research expert in China. After the 1970s, the development of information theory has become more and more popular, especially now. Data, transmission, passwords, etc. are all information interactions. Standing in this age full of information and looking back at the past, we have to admit his farsightedness 70 years ago. What a long-term vision this is. Later, the 10-year Cultural Revolution began. Faced with the situation where his wife committed suicide and his son went crazy and his family was ruined, his spirit was not broken. He is not doing well, but with the words "the Chinese need him," Bi Dexian woke up and fought again. In 1971, he joined the front line of satellite communication. In the 1980s, he proposed to open a microcomputer course. In 1988, at the age of 80, he still led graduate students, revising thesis, and the students wrote a 530,000-word monograph. Every word permeated his painstaking efforts. In 1991, his soul-stirring life was about to come to an end. The cancer tortured him so much that he could not even speak completely. He chose to leave the expensive painkillers to others. On January 12 of that year, Mr. Bi quietly passed away. His last wish was to keep things simple and not mourn. He has done great things all his life, and he has been a big man all his life, but he has been unknown all his life, as if he has never been in this world. Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below, and share your insightful ideas with other people. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. See you.